Coming up on Peninsula Beat, the police are asking for your help in a burglary investigation. There's good news regarding safety in the switchbacks. There's important information regarding a beach closure. Get ready to learn about native plants while volunteering for the community. It's back to school time. Are you prepared? The Peninsula High football team is already back to work, and seniors in our community are keeping busy. And finally, there's a new place in town to indulge your taste buds. The Lomita Sheriff's Department is asking for your help identifying a person of interest who was seen knocking on doors during the same time as a burglary occurred in the same neighborhood. Here's more with Captain Dan Behringer.
We had a good first quarter of 2016. Our overall Part 1 crimes, which are serious felonies we report to the FBI, were down 27% and very successful. We've had a lot of calls on suspicious activity and made some successful arrests.
There was some activity that took place where there was a burglary situation in our PV, and you're seeking the public's assistance right now in trying to identify the suspect. Talk about that case and how the public might be able to help.
Yes, we're looking for a person of interest. She was seen knocking on doors at the same time frame. A burglary occurred in the same neighborhood off the 30600 block of Palos Verdes Drive East about 1 p.m. last Saturday. An alert neighbor called us for suspicious activity. We dispatched units. However, they didn't locate the individuals before a burglary did occur.
Well, one thing that kept you busy back in June, you had a town meeting, a public safety town meeting to talk to residents about what's happening with their efforts, and what were some of the takeaways? Talk about what took place at that.
Well, we had a very good crowd of residents, and it was very positive because it shows that residents do care about public safety, and we had a lot of very good questions from the audience. We talked about home safety, some of the crime trends we're seeing, and burglary prevention, and it was a good meeting, and we're planning on having another one in October. What
are the best ways that residents, they want to help, and they want to help law enforcement, and we can work together? You know, what are some of the ideas that you have?
Getting to know your neighbors is always the best thing. Look out for each other and report suspicious activity when you see it.
What are the challenges of getting people out there? Anyone interested right now, like if you're talking to our viewers about why this is a great field to be in? And
it's a great field. It's a stable career. It's exciting. And people, the job market is improving all around, but it's a great career. It's always different. Every day is different. You don't know what you're going to face when you come to work, and a lot of people enjoy that. But a lot of people would rather work in office settings, so a lot of times you have to find the right person that wants to be in law enforcement. We have a robust set of volunteers. They cover administrative positions in the station, where they conduct patrols, volunteer on patrol. They go out and write parking citations in our area. So they have a number of functions. They wear a uniform, and mostly retired people, but they really enjoy it.
As captain, what are some of your top priorities that you want to tell the residents about?
My top priority is public safety, and to continue the downward trend in crime. We'd like to see the crime rates return to what they were years ago, and to maintain the semi-rural feel of this community.
To address noise and speeding issues in the switchbacks, the Lomita Sheriff's Department has imposed a zero-tolerance enforcement plan that includes increased police presence and the use of deterrents such as decoy vehicles. I caught up with Officer Doug Shive, who talks about the success the Lomita Sheriff's Department is having in the switchbacks.
I understand their complaints, and so we've put out deputies weekly, and also the message board has helped as well. We were able to make 2 arrests in the last 2 months, which is successful, and towed away a couple cars. We've written over 30 cites.
How many officers are involved in patrolling the area?
Well, we have 4 that are really focusing on the switchbacks. 2 of them work for me. for our core team, and then 2 of them are they're typically a traffic car, and they're very well trained with the radar, as well as knowing what is legal noise and what is, against the law. These motorcycles, when they, get 3 to 4 to 5 all together, it is quite loud, and it just echoes through the canyons. Now, since we've been present for the last 2 months, more than usual, there's only been 1 motorcycle accident, and I believe the injury was quite minor. But with the bicyclists, with people maybe crossing the street for hiking, and all the cars, and it's the best view, here in the county, it is very dangerous. The word is out that it's zero tolerance for those that want to come and really take away the peacefulness of this community, and so they know that they can expect a deputy is going to be down there ready to cite them if they decide to violate the law.
The city of Rancho Palos Verdes has closed the beach and tide pool area located at Portuguese Point in Abalone Cove Shoreline Park due to falling rocks and unstable cliffs above. The closure will remain in place until further notice and until the area is deemed safe for public access. For more on the story, here is Rec and Park Director Corey Linder.
Back in the early spring of this year, the Abalone Cove area, down by the ruins, we were getting some calls about some falling rock and debris from the cliffs up above the tide pools. So that was something that drew us thinking, okay, let's go down and take a look and err on the side of caution. And we looked at, there was some rocks that had fallen down. The lifeguards also witnessed a few, some debris falling down. So I took the geologist out there, and actually he said, here's an area that there is some instability up there. We both looked from the bottom and then also up on the top. Some cracks had grown in size. So I worked with him as far as where we could still allow public access to some of the tide pools, but also enable it to be safe for the public use. So where there was an area, and you'll see on the map, that hopefully we can still get people to come down and visit the tide pools, but also keep it in a safe area. So if something does fall, they'll be clear of it.
And so that's clearly marked down there as to where's safe and where's not.
Correct. There's signage, and the immediate point of Inspiration Point is closed because that's probably where the largest rocks are. And so there is signage. The signs are very prominent. The lifeguards are down there. We also have our deputy sheriffs patrolling the preserve, as well as our staff that will be enforcing that.
And do we know how long or the process may take to get that fixed? Or
right now it's up to Mother Nature, but it will be interesting to see when we get that next rain and see what will happen, see what some water invading some of those crevices will do. But again, we want to err on the side of caution and to make sure that it's safe for public use in areas that we feel is safe.
And when we come back, there's a new restaurant in town that might just have your favorite meal for dinner. And it's that time of year again to hit the books. Don't go away.
When there is an increase in vehicle thefts and burglaries, you must be extra vigilant in securing your vehicle. If you see anyone who looks suspicious, don't hesitate. Call the police. Having an alarm on your car can help prevent a break-in, but be sure you don't leave any valuable items, such as laptops or other electronics, in plain view. Don't leave your keys in the ignition or leave your vehicle unattended with the engine running. Finally, get to know your neighbors and talk to them about forming a neighborhood watch. For more information on crime prevention, please go to the website lomita.lasd.org or call your local sheriff station at 310-539-1661.
On Sunday, August 21st, the city of Rancho Palos Verdes invites you to spend the day in the garden and enjoy the ocean view. It's time for Volunteer Day, where you can learn about native California plants and valuable gardening skills. Here's more on the event from Spencer Hawley.
Hey Maria, we're here at Point Vicente Interpretive Center for Volunteer Day. Let's go check it out.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about what's going on here on the 21st for Volunteer Day at the Interpretive Center. Of course. Actually, we're going to be having an event on behalf of the California Native Plant Society and the city of Rancho Palos Verdes. And what we're going to be doing is a little bit of native plant gardening here. So all of our volunteers are going to learn how to properly maintain a beautiful California native plant garden. We'll be doing some pruning. We're going to actually spread some seeds into a new area that recently got irrigation. And so, yeah, we're going to make stuff look really awesome over here.
That sounds very exciting. And what kind of plants do we have over here at the Interpretive Center?
So, as I was saying, everything is California native plants. So that includes like this California sagebrush over here. We have California bush sunflowers. We even have this rare species that only exists in Rancho Palos Verdes and Catalina Island called a green island deadlia.
And why is this species so rare?
A lot of the reasons are simply because of the limitation in the distributions of certain plants, especially when you get a lot of non-native plants coming in and taking over areas. And so some plants, especially ones in California, are limited. California is actually a hot spot for diversity, and so like 2/3 of the plants that exist in California are actually usually threatened or rare.
And can you tell us a little bit about what plants are threatening some of the native species here?
Sure. One really common one is ice plant from South Africa. And plants, weeds are actually listed in terms of invasibility. So that's like a high invasive plant. Another one you'll see around the peninsula a lot is actually fennel. You might have enjoyed it in a tasty salad. And that's great. You go ahead and take it off of our native landscapes, but it's really terrible for the environment. It spreads really rapidly.
So for Volunteer Day, can you tell us about what kind of equipment volunteers should expect to bring to the event?
Yes, all the volunteers are expected to bring our closed-toed shoes, a little bit of sunscreen, sun protection, a hat, maybe some snacks and water. And we will actually provide each volunteer a volunteer t-shirt and all of the tools necessary to participate.
Excellent. So there's no need to bring your own personal equipment. You guys will be providing all the tools?
Nope, no need to bring your own pruners. We have you covered.
Terrific. And how do you go about signing up for the event?
All you have to do is email me and say how many people are coming, and my email is mroy564@gmail.com.
Terrific. Well, it's definitely going to be an exciting and fun day here at the Interpretive Center, and just for volunteering, you can get one of these free t-shirts. Back to you, Maria, in the studio.
Well, it's that time of year again when young people get prepared to go back to school. While there are many levels of learning, moving from high school to college can be a challenge. Here's more from Caitlin Semko.
I'm Caitlin Semko, and I sat down with a few students to talk about their first year of college. Here's more.
Yeah, I definitely think that the best piece of advice I could give for any incoming freshmen in college would definitely be adaptable to every situation.
I wish I really had known not to stress out about anything, not to stress out about getting the right professors for classes or making new friends, because all the other first years with me were going through the same things, and it was something to kind of bond over and connect with them.
Well, in high school, I had my parents watching over me a little bit and making sure that I was on top of my time management and my grades and my activities that I was doing in high school. And in college, I just didn't have that.
Taking the time to sort of evaluate, what is it that I like? What is it that gets me excited in the morning? Knowing that before going into college is huge.
I know there's club rushes like there were in high school, and I went to that and I found a dance team that I really was interested in, so I tried out. And just in general, I would really recommend to get involved as soon as possible without kind of overdoing it.
I think that everybody should just be fearless. Like when you're in your dorms, just leave your door open. For the first couple weeks of school, people would from other buildings and stuff walk up and down the floors to the open doors and just meet people, say hi. Everybody should join a club, try something new, join an intramural sports team. There's so many ways that you can get involved and just meet people.
It's just a matter of picking something and going for it. And especially as a freshman, it's such a wonderful time because there's no pressure to be in any sort of place and you have the chance to explore. So just say yes to everything, and slowly but surely you'll find your place and you'll find something that you belong to.
I'd say to make friends, just join a bunch of clubs. Like I was on the football team, which gave me a set of guys to hang out with, and participate in like things that you like, whether it be like IM sports. I also played soccer for IM teams, and we had a great time doing that and made a couple friends doing that. But there's a bunch of clubs in college that you can join and make friends with people who like share the same interests with you. So I recommend doing that. I'd never had a roommate before this year, and my roommate, he was a pretty nice guy. You just have to kind of respect their space, and hopefully they respect their spaces as well. And also, just kind of at the beginning of the year, try and set some ground rules that you and your roommate can stick to, so then you guys will have like a set rules for the rest of the year.
Say hi and bye when you enter and leave a room. That's the first thing. It definitely helped ease the transition. I didn't know my roommate, and we weren't very good friends, which was totally okay, because as long as you're on that like sort of base level of interaction, everything else sort of just falls into place, and slowly but surely you build up that relationship.
Just be easygoing. Go in expecting everything. I was very scared going into my school. I thought I wasn't going to like my roommate, and he ended up being my best friend. I wish I could have been a little bit more fearless.
One of the best things about being away from home is you really grow to appreciate your parents.
You take things one step at a time, especially in the beginning of the year, to not, over-involve yourself.
You're given like a lot more freedom in college, so just know yourself and know when you're going to study and stick to that plan.
And in sports, it's a new team and a new coach for Peninsula High football. After having to shut the program down last year, it was time to put it back together and get back to work. I spent some time at a recent summer practice and caught up with new head coach David Young.
Right now it's going real well. This summer is a necessary preparation for the fall camp. This is all conditioning, lifting, and probably about 30% football, where everything else, like I said, is 70% the conditioning and lifting, getting ready for the fall season. We're out here every day from 3 to 6, putting in the work that needs to be done to get us some wins during September through November.
What's been the biggest challenge in, fielding a brand new team this year?
A commitment, getting these guys to buy into the commitment of how much harder it's going to be to start something new. Since there was no ground laid already, they really all had to come in and start from the bottom up. We didn't have anybody who was such a superstar on our team that can take us out of the depths. We had to really join together from freshman to senior now, come together and make a team.
Interesting, because you said, there's not a lot of superstars, but everybody's sort of starting in the same playing field. From a coach perspective, that must be kind of refreshing.
Refreshing for me, because I can see the work in progress. Refreshing for them as well, because a lot of them, whether they had something with the old coach or the old coach had an attitude toward them, I told them flat out, it's a new day, I'm a new person, and all you have to do is prove to me you want to be here and work hard. And it's turned out to be a really good thing for them, because a lot of them, I think, were happy to turn over a new leaf and get a second chance, because how many times do we really get a second chance to perform or compete?
You've talked about learning how to play the Peninsula football way. What does that mean?
What I've learned about the Peninsula football way is hard work and effort trump all. And if we can bring hard work and our effort to a maximal potential every day, and our skills will just combine to get us to be good football players. This will be our 4th week of summer. We're going to go for one more week next week, and then take 5 days off before we hit our what we call our fall training camp August 10th with 2 double days. We get to do 2 practices a day for 2 days, and we get into pads, and we got 3 weeks till our first game against John Glenn on September 2nd. We have plenty of kids to play. Right now we got 45 guys on the varsity JV roster and 30 guys on the freshman roster. So right now we have freshman games scheduled as well as JV and varsity games right now.
And when we come back, are you hungry? You will be after watching this story. And these seniors share their secret to the fountain of youth. Stay tuned.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
And if you're looking for a new restaurant to tempt your taste buds, then look no further than the Promenade on the Peninsula, where Plates is making its debut. I had a chance to sample some of the dishes at Plates, and they are delicious. Here's more.
It's American cuisine, but America is what? Is worldwide. We've got people, America is just a country full of immigrants. That's all we are. That's what we came up with the idea. Let's take it. Whether it's Eastern European, whether it's from Great Britain, Far East, it doesn't matter. We have a little bit of everything. This is American recipes that immigrants brought in and kind of like, they altered them a little, changed them, right? I mean, my mother was an Italian cook in her way. Right. She cooked American Italian, not in Italy. People in Italy would look at her Italian food and say, what is it? So that's what we have here. Our chef, Carl Viking, who is actually from Chez Melange, he was Robert's pastry chef. Yeah. And so he's on board, and he's very talented, and he's very creative. He comes up with a lot of unique dishes. Our bar, it is a bar, it is a beer and wine bar.
A lot of California wines, yes?
All California. It's an American bistro, but California wines. I'm a Californian, what can I tell you?
We are now joined by Chef Carl Viking. Carl, you are the expert in the kitchen. So as Chuck brings the dishes over, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what they are, how you prepare them. I know that we talked a lot about Americana comfort food here with a European flair. So it's just interesting to find out how everybody puts their twist on things. So tell us about, oh my gosh, it's delicious.
All right, so this is our grilled octopus with shishito peppers, pancetta, red onions. It's served with a romesco sauce and a squeeze of lemon and crispy farro. This is sort of a Greek influenced dish, but with some modern ingredients, some American trendy ingredients like shishito peppers. Okay. And this is a deli classic. This is a brisket grilled cheese with Munster, English mustard, tomato, and rapini. Which adds sort of when it's cooked, adds sort of a horseradish flavor so that you're not missing out on anything. Got to get your brisket and horseradish.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of these, especially with the grilled cheese, you really kind of bring them up a level in taste and flavors.
We try to, it's all about, we want to present comfort with about an ounce of class. This is a new salad for the summer. It's called the pickled tink salad. It's mixed greens, pickled beets, which we do in-house, pickled shallots, blue cheese, candied walnuts, and the dressing is just a little bit of the pink juice from the roasted beets and some herb oil to turn the whole thing pink.
Amazing cioppino in front of us. Tell us about this.
Well, cioppino is about as California regional as you can get. Sounds Italian, but it's a nonsense word made up by fishermen with their catch at the end of the day. They would chip in to a communal soup, and so this is a variation on it. The traditional one is mostly white wine and butter, but we wanted thick tomato sauce as it just meshes perfectly, and the grilled bread to just sop up the soup at the end. So we have a mixture of clams, mussels, scallops, shrimp, octopus, and calamari in here.
All right, Chef, this looks pretty amazing, and I hear it's new on the menu.
Yes, we're starting it this week. This is the braised pork ragu. It's pork that's been braised for 12 hours in a red wine tomato sauce made with both fire-roasted tomatoes and sun-dried tomatoes. The sauce itself has marinated artichoke hearts, wild mushrooms, onions, garlic, and oregano and basil.
He has a great, if you want to believe this, a 1.5 minute chocolate souffle. A minute and a half, we come out and it's served with a scoop of vanilla gelato. But it's delicious. It's very, very rich, very chocolatey.
Well, senior citizens are busier and more active than ever before. They participate in many activities from ping pong to classes and many forms of exercise. August 21st is National Seniors Day, and in honor of this special day, I wanted to find out what keeps these seniors so young. Here's more from some of the seniors attending a lecture at Peninsula Senior Series.
I have a lot of hobbies. I play golf when I can. I walk every day. I am extremely active in many, many things. Last week I think we went to 4 different concerts, including the Hollywood Bowl. I'm very active in the seniors themselves. I run a dinner for the seniors about once every 2 months. It's extremely popular at the PB Grill, and I invite anybody that wants to come. We have this meet and greet, which is wonderful. When I lost my wife about 4 years ago, I had to do something with the rest of my life. Okay, you have a choice. I had a choice of sitting at home in my house and watching TV. Number one, I need the exercise, and I don't like to sit at home because you tend to eat a little bit too much. The other thing is, I love to be with people. As you see, I'm an outgoing kind of individual. I'm not the introvert. So I went out, I met a lot of people. I have a lot of friends. I have a family that's very, very supportive, which is a very important thing. They don't spend very much time with me because I'm so damn busy, you see.
Well, just having friends that are active in the area and being friends with them and finding that they have more friends that we like. And it's quite easy to get very involved if you have the time. I usually take a class. I love to learn too. I taught school for 41 years, but I still like to now take classes in subjects I have no idea and I've always wanted to know.
What kind of hobbies or interests do you have?
Well, I play golf and at Rolling Hills Country Club, and I used to play about 3 or 4 times a week, but now it is under doing it, rebuilding it, and so forth. So it's closed right now, but I will be back.
Well, because I'm not really a senior.
Okay.
So by active, it means getting out of the house.
Right. And what kind of hobbies do you have? You come here to the lecture series. What other kind of things do you do?
Well, that's interesting. I'm a regular attendee of this meetings here on Wednesdays, and I play tennis, and I go to Omni Lore, which is a group that meets for continuing education in Torrance, and I also go to Ollie, which is in Cal State Dominguez Hills and Torrance. And so those are the 2 groups that I do the most in. I also do creative writing, and that's one of my main directions. I'm always promoting myself in the direction of doing more.
We have to remember that now we have 2 generations of seniors, because I'm in my late 60s, and I just went to someone's 100th birthday party on Sunday, and she's very vibrant too, and sharper than I am. I think my mother was doing all this when she was in her 80s, so it's just how you're raised. Yeah. And we have to keep it going.
And as far as interests that you have, what kind of hobbies or interests do you have?
I love to travel, and I love to learn. So I think coming here, you're hanging out with both people.
I know you come to the Peninsula Seniors Lecture Series.
Yeah, always. I think it's a great program.
Okay.
Great program, and Leanne deserves a lot of credit for what she does.
She does a great job.
Absolutely, it wouldn't go without her.
And what kind of hobbies do you have?
Read. I read. Yeah, I do. They have an exercise program down at the beach club, and I go down there twice a week.
Nice.
So I get it's a good exercise program, and I'm a great tinkerer. I keep the house in good repair.
Okay. Yeah. That can keep you very busy, actually.
That keeps you busy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They do stay young, that's for sure. And that will do it for us at RPV TV. Make it a great day.